Hello friends and welcome back to HorrorScoped. Today we'll be giving last rites to the dead, as we'll be preparing their bodies for the ultimate burial, and trying to exorcise their demons in the process. Join us as we look at the lore for the Mortuary's Assistant, and hopefully do everything in our power to stop YouTube from age restricting this video. I mean, we tried our best and I think we did a good job. Here we go. Rebecca Owens is the protagonist of this story, and she recently began an apprenticeship at Riverfield's Mortuary, under the direction of the mortician Raymond Delver. Not all is as it seems at this establishment, despite its, ordinary appearance. Rebecca quickly realizes this herself when she is called in to work to cover for Raymond, who is feeling under the weather. Perhaps it's the relief she feels for officially being brought on as his apprentice that propels her to the newfound place of employment that evening. But she soon comes to regret that enthusiasm. The night is stormy, and upon arrival, she finds that she isn't the only one on the grounds. Someone is outside and they've locked her inside. The phone rings, and Rebecca, understandably terrified, answers it to find Raymond on the other end of the line. Raymond informs her that it is he who is outside the door and who has trapped her. Suddenly, her job has gone from potentially unsettling to downright terrifying, as Raymond informs her that she is being stalked by a demon. If that wasn't bad enough, he goes on to explain that it is possessing one of the 3 bodies the mortuary received that evening, and is seeking to possess her next, unless she can figure out which body is currently stringing along like a marionette. In a flash, Rebecca has been thrust into the world of the supernatural, and must learn how to exorcise a demon, or become his puppet. What a way to spend a first official night on the job! Raymond Delver has clearly been in the exorcism business for some time, and has gathered an impressive amount of information and materials with which to fight back against these otherworldly foes. Beyond the tools he has provided, the most important pieces of information Raymond imparts to Rebecca are the idea of mastering your own darkness and the power of a true name. Something with so much meaning that it can be used to send a demon back to its pit if it is known. Mastering oneself is important, as a demon will use whatever it can to gain power over a person, such as Rebecca, who, while she is over 10 years sober, used to struggle with addiction. And of course, the demons haunting this business do try to leverage memories from those difficult times against her. We see this in a particularly grim flashback, where Rebecca is on the ground in what seems to be an overdose situation. The demons will do whatever they can to try to gain power over Rebecca, which is why it's important that she follows the instructions that Raymond spelled out for her. And this knowledge includes ways to try to suss out which body is in fact possessed, from things like markings on the corpse, or, the corpse moving. Perhaps more important are the slips of parchment that reveal portions of the demon's name, one held in an area of high activity where the demon is close at hand. These are called letting strips, and are bits of scripture that will burn in such areas and reveal a symbol, a sigil. There is a catch to the demon's ability to force its will upon the living. It must inscribe its true name upon the physical world to enact its power. These strips capitalize on this risk. Their true name, while granting themselves power, can also grant power over the demon to those who know it. These sigils remain in a metaphysical state until these slips of scripture compel them to appear in the physical world. The idea of a true name having power has its origins in works of fiction, such as Dungeons & Dragons, and religious stories in the real world. For example, Ra, the Egyptian god of the sun, had his true name discovered by Isis, which gave her absolute power over him. Isis used this to place Horus on his throne instead. There's also the biblical story of Jacob, who wrestled an unnamed angel. This angel refused to reveal the name to Jacob even upon losing this bout, due to the same circumstances that befell Ra. This relationship with a true name is seen quite frequently in relation to religion and demons, whether it's an exorcism being performed by a church in real life or fiction. Using D&D as an example once again, a true name can be used to banish a demon, or perhaps to get oneself out of a previously crafted deal with the devil. All this rings true for Rebecca, as she tries to survive the night and deduce which body the demon is currently anchored to. The demon repeatedly reaches into Rebecca's mind, forcing her to recall awful memories that it then wraps into nightmares. Between her dead mother blaming her for her father's death, to the very scene of his death, Rebecca's overdose, the monster pulls no punches in his efforts to take control of Rebecca. With all this in mind, Rebecca's journey can have a number of outcomes ranging from her becoming possessed in the end, or likely the true ending, surviving the ordeal, and potentially staying on the job to help Raymond. Through it all, her will and ethics are tested as the demon pries at her mind. She also learns more about Raymond and all that he's done in order to try and hold back the demonic invaders, including locking a possessed woman named Valerie in the basement in order to use her blood as a reagent. This is the same reagent that Rebecca finds in the cabinet along with the letting strips, and the mark used to inscribe the demon's name through the found sigils. The ethics are certainly questionable, but Raymond, and ultimately Rebecca, come to terms with it being one monstrous act for the greater good. All in all, the story of the Mortuary Assistant is quite intriguing. Demonic horror is always interesting, as it has its roots in many cultures and media. What did you think of Rebecca's tale? Do you think her and Raymond should put out a report to the news? Who knows, maybe a 67 Impala will pull up in their time of need. Until next time, horror fans, cheers!